Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on?
We're rolling.
Okay.
So, what's your name and where are you from?
My name's Gerry Byrne. I've come down from Whitley Bay near Newcastle, but you can probably hear I'm
You don't sound like a northerner. You're a Londoner.
Yes, but I moved up to the Geordie Riviera.
And what brought you back to London?
I've come to appear on the Plinth as part of Antony Gormley's, 100 days, 24 hours a day. Every person has an hour to say whatever they want to say, and I decided at the last minute to talk about the Vestas occupation, where workers who are threatened with losing their jobs in a wind turbine factory, just at the point when the government has conceded that climate change is a serious issue and that we ought to be putting more money into sustainable jobs and green energy, they've decided to close the plant. And the workers' response to that has been to occupy. There's been a couple of other occupations recently in Ireland, Waterford Glass,
And in Northern Ireland? Vistian Motor Parts.
Vistian also had a thing in Enfield, I think.
Yeah, Enfield and Basildon as well.
Yeah. Which have been successful, and it's marked a complete change from almost God knows how many years of people just sort of lying down and accepting it. I mean, we've got a government which has continued the work of Margaret Thatcher, sometimes even more so, and it's only in the last year really that there's suddenly been this will to I mean, there have been individual fightbacks before that, but suddenly it's as if the tide has turned or the climate has changed.
Environmental metaphors seem particularly apposite, given that the workers are struggling for jobs which really ought to be expanding, not contracting.
Yes, I mean, and Ed Miliband has made all these kind of noises about putting money into green jobs, into sustainable energy sources. Mostly they seem to be talking about nuclear power, which is hardly the the greenest option.
James Lovelock might disagree, but
yes,
he might have come off the rails.
Yeah, it's certainly something we could debate, but the point is anyway that the government's been asked to, if Vestas can't maintain production at the plant, then the government should take it over, as it's taken over. You know, it's put billions into stopping the banks collapse. Why can't something that is vital to our future also be taken into public ownership? Which but one of the other things I wanted to talk about today was public transport, and the fact that where I come from, the Tyne and Wear Metro is being part privatised. Bits have been put out to tender. It's the most efficient public transport system in the country, and
just at the time when Metronet in London, one of the first part privatised efforts by Gordon Brown and his cronies, has been taken back into public ownership because it failed.
Millions in taxpayers' money, and kind of brought the services grinding to a halt when it couldn't carry on, and so the lesson they seem to have learnt from that is absolutely sod all. So and obviously an expanded public transport system would also be good for the environment because it would stop people using cars, which are the least efficient energy in terms of energy usage mode of transport.
It might also encourage people to take folding bikes like that one and put them on the buses and the trains and the trams and the water taxis and the helicopters and the aircraft. Possibly the greenest form of transport I've discovered so far.
Yes.
Because it combines with every form of public transport, which is what's important. So, in the same week that Ed Miliband was on his hooves in the House of Parliament announcing 400,000 green jobs in the future, Vestas wind turbines were announcing 625 redundancies in the present. How do you account for this discrepancy?
Possibly that Ed Miliband is not to be trusted. Possibly that this government talks. I suppose I should.
Talks the talk but doesn't walk the walk, perhaps.
Yes, that would be a more polite way of saying what I was going to say.
We don't want to have to put a parental
a bleep
lyrics advisory on this.
Yes.
But I think he's a bit of a C word himself.
Yes. We were going to have a banner saying Ed Miliband can't.
In his article in The Guardian last Thursday, and in his reply to my open letter about this, he's blaming NIMBYism for what Vestas claim is a lack of demand for onshore wind in the UK. Do you think that argument carries any water?
It's
very true that onshore wind farm planning applications are getting turned down left, right and centre. About 50% of them are failing.
I think that there's an element of that, the wrong type of leaves on the line in Vestas' argument that they're not making the sort of turbines that they can make for the UK market. They're making them for the US market, and it's much more efficient to produce them elsewhere. I don't know about NIMBYism. I think could take a lead in taking over the production side of it if Vestas say that they can't carry on production. But also, there are areas where people will be bloody glad of the jobs, and I don't know that. I don't know that I'm convinced by that argument that it's.
What shocked me about it was that this is the minister,
We set off to join the picket lines, but together we cannot fail. We got stopped by police at the county line. They said, "Go home, boys, or you'll go into jail." And which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on?